There are secrets buried in the sands of Shinar, monuments to ambition that were never meant to be finished. This isn't just a story about a tower. This is a story about what happens when humanity forgets its place in the cosmic order. This is the story of the Tower of Babel. After the great waters receded and the world began anew, something extraordinary existed on earth, something we've never experienced since. The whole earth was of one language and of one speech. Genesis chapter 1, verse 1. United, these people journeyed east until they found it, a plain between two rivers, Mesopotamia, the land of Shinar. And here, in this fertile cradle of civilization, they made a decision that would echo through eternity. They said to each other, "Come, let's build ourselves a city and a tower whose top reaches to the sky, and let's make a name for ourselves, lest we be scattered abroad on the surface of the whole earth." Genesis chapter 11, verse 4. But something was different this time. They weren't just stacking stones quarried from the earth. They made bricks, manufactured uniform, perfect. They used tar as mortar. This wasn't just building, this was engineering. This was raw, unbridled ambition. Day after day, the tower rose, brick upon brick, level upon level, reaching ever upward. But this wasn't just architecture. It was an act of defiance. They weren't building a monument to God, they were building a monument to themselves, a stairway to divinity, a ladder to heaven that they would climb on their own terms. Think about what this really means. United humanity, with infinite time and perfect communication, decided their first great collective project would be to reach God's realm themselves. Lest we be scattered, they said, but what they really meant was,
we will not be subject to any will but our own.
The tower grew, higher than any structure that had come before it. Some scholars believe it may have reached 300 feet. That's taller than a 30-story building, constructed with ancient technology, an incredible feat. But someone was watching. Genesis chapter 11 verse 5 tells us, "The Lord came down to see the city and the tower which the children of men built." Imagine that for a second. The creator of the entire universe bending down to observe what humanity had built. Not because its height impressed him, but because its meaning was significant, the Lord said. "Behold, they are one people, and they all have one language, and this is what they begin to do. Now nothing will be withheld from them, which they intend to do. Come, let's go down, and there confuse their language, that they may not understand one another's speech." Genesis chapter 11, verse 6. And then it happened. In an instant, the foreman giving orders suddenly spoke in sounds his workers couldn't comprehend. The architect tried to explain the next phase of the plans, but his words were just meaningless noise. Families couldn't understand their neighbors. Brothers couldn't understand brothers. In a single divine moment, the unified voice of humanity shattered into thousands of fragments. They stopped building the city. Therefore its name was called Babel, because there the Lord confused the language of all the earth. From there the Lord scattered them abroad on the surface of all the earth. Genesis chapter 11, verse 9. Now was this a punishment, or was it a mercy? God himself said that a united humanity could do anything, absolutely anything they set their minds to. And what had they chosen as their first great achievement? Pride, arrogance. They couldn't finish the tower. They couldn't even stay together. The very structure they built to prevent being scattered became the symbol of their dispersion. They scattered across the face of the earth, taking their new, different languages with them. And in every direction they went, they carried the memory of what they had tried to do. The city was called Babel, a name that sounds like the Hebrew word for confused. But here's a chilling detail. In the Akkadian language of ancient Mesopotamia, the word Babel meant something else entirely. It meant gate of God. The tower they built to storm heaven, they had named it the gate of God. The irony is almost unbearable. Today, in the deserts of modern-day Iraq, archaeologists have unearthed the ruins of massive ziggurats, step towers that hauntingly match the biblical description. The Etemenanki in Babylon, dedicated to the god Marduk, stood over 300 feet tall. Ancient Mesopotamian texts speak of towers built to reach the gods. Different cultures, different languages, all seem to be remembering the same foundational story. But here's the thought that keeps me awake at night. We're still building towers, higher than ever before. We've unified our communications again. The internet, instant translation technology, global cooperation. We are more connected now than at any point since Shinar. We're reaching beyond the heavens now, into the vastness of space itself. The question isn't whether the Tower of Babel was a real place. The question is, are we building it again? And if we are, what does that mean for us today? Thank you for watching. If this story made you think, please consider liking this video and subscribing to our channel for more deep dives into the stories that shaped our world. We'll see you next time.